the Any and Everything Show with your hosts, Jake and George.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry podcast?
Is this the beginning?
Yeah, welcome back, everyone,
to Merry podcast.
to a festive holiday episode
of
of the Any and Everything Show. We had hopes of this being a visual podcast, a video podcast as well. But, there's just sometimes not enough time in the day. So we're still rocking our Christmas sweaters. We'll post them on our Instagram just to give you guys a little taste of the holiday season. But Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to everyone out there, and welcome back to another beautiful episode of the Any and Everything Show, episode 97.
She's a beaut.
Each episode, George and I, we get together, we open up a brand new beer, review it, talk about the beer, but don't just talk about the beer because that'd be a little crazy. Talk about a little bit of any and everything because in this crazy, crazy world, there's just way too much to talk about. George, am I right about that one?
Jake, you are right about that one.
Ho. I do apologize if you hear any jingles and jangles during the episode. That's just my silly sweater.
It's just Jake's sweater that he decided would be good for a podcast episode.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I was getting the stuff together. I was connecting cables, and every time I move my arm, I get a little jingle, a little jangle. But that's the fun of it, huh? That's we have fun here, or at least we try to.
We try.
And I know George hooked us up with some sort of festive beer.
That's the plan, isn't it, Jake?
And I think
to celebrate the season.
Yeah, I think so. So what we're holding here,
Jake, this episode is beer.
It's brought to you by.
Well, wish it was brought to you by, but from the evil geniuses at Evil Genius Brewing Company is the. Let's see how good this sounds.
Ooh.
Santa's coming to town. Oh my God! Santa here?
I know him. So yeah, if those of you who don't know, that is from the movie Elf.
Yep.
And the evil geniuses at Evil Genius Brewery have made a beer called Santa. I know him.
Yep.
It is in their words on their box, a festive Saison.
Saison.
And on the box, it is described as a complex Belgian-style ale that kisses Santa Claus.
Ooh.
It's their holiday Saison.
Ooh.
Is brewed with rose hips, chamomile, black currants, and dark candy syrup.
Okay.
Complex and intriguing. This is the one that broke Dad's leg lamp.
All right. So adding a little festive.
And yes, the time of year where people in commercials buy cars without telling their significant others, like complete and utter lunatics.
Wow, that was on there. I've always pointed that out every single time I see one of those. It's like, hey, look what I got you. $70,000 in the driveway. You don't discuss that at all, or is it
You've said that every time you see those commercials?
Yeah, just about every time. I'm like, well, the first few times I'm like, well, that's ridiculous, but now every time I see it, I'm like, well, that just doesn't happen. But it probably does happen.
It does happen.
Yeah,
it does
I
actually
think
happen
it's
because
just a wild fact to me.
As you know, and maybe most listeners know, my mom worked in the car business for all her life, pretty much, right?
Yep.
And they provide and sell, especially around the holiday season, big red bows to put on cars for people getting cars as gifts.
Oh, so that's a dealership thing. You don't go to Walmart to find those kind of bows?
You might be able to, but the dealership, I don't know if they give them for free or if it's an extra fee.
But they got
knowing the car business is probably
the hookup. They got the hookup.
Yes.
Though. Okay. Good to know.
But they have them for people who are obviously surprising family members, loved ones around the holiday season with a new car.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, people will do it. So
'tis the season, Jake.
'Tis the damn season. So we give a first sip impression of every beer we drink, and this one punches you right in the face like a naughty little elf. I don't really even know what kind of flavors it's bringing, but I just looked up, and a Saison, or however you do pronounce it, is a pale ale that is highly carbonated, fruity, spicy, and often bottled. So I guess it has that kind of like
right
seasonal
off
spice.
right off the rip. not bottled.
Yeah, I can't.
So
It says often.
yeah, well, we're doing something wrong, Jake. Is all I'm pointing out. But yeah, I don't know. The first initial flavor that hits my mouth, it tastes like a Bud Light or some kind of light pilsner,
Yeah,
and I did not enjoy that.
yeah. And
I was
just-
expecting some kind of like flavorful holiday
Yeah.
beer.
It's like you're right. It's like a pale drink, like a Bud Light, but they just threw those spices
And then there's
in
like
it.
a couple spices at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I
So-
want something light on the holidays, but I also want a ton of different holiday flavor.
Yeah, so I don't know how it's going to go throughout the episode, but first sip, not a good impression.
So it's
I
something.
think the can was I just showed a little more color.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
all green. I was just not the flavor I was anticipating at all.
No.
Especially from a 7.1% or 7.2% alcohol.
Yeah, so it says
Um,
it's got rose hips.
Yeah.
If anyone knows what a rose hip is, I'll give you $100. Chamomile, which I know is in tea, it's an herb in tea.
I read all these out,
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to
Okay.
like put it back into my head to
Yeah.
like kind of. And black currant's really sweet. Like,
You're missing stuff too, so there's more ingredients.
oh really? Did you read those as well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, rose hips, chamomile, black currants, and dark candy syrup, as you say.
Yeah.
Are you a syrup, not a syrup?
I think I'm a syrup guy. I don't know why it came out syrup, if
No,
I'm
it's
being
just,
honest
you're
with
just
you.
feeling. That was just your announcer voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Syrup.
Yeah, it is a bunch of battling flavors.
We're really beating around the bush here, Jake, but I'm going to give it a D.
okay. Let's cut right to the chase.
We've been talking about what it tastes like for a long time, and that doesn't. And no one no good.
Yeah, I'll match you there. It's it's fine. It's like if you got like socks on Christmas. This is kind of what my first impression is. You open it up and you're like, oh, I see what you're doing here.
But you know what? You say that, and maybe as a kid, you would be that disappointed.
Yeah,
but
now though,
now
yeah, you hand me socks.
I look forward to socks and underwear from my parents every
I
Christmas
smile
because
ear to ear.
I really don't buy socks and underwear.
No, and they wear out so fast.
They wear out within a year, and it's time for me to get new ones.
Stock up.
And Christmas is when I get
Tis-
all my
tis the
socks and
season.
underwear. That's right.
Yeah, it's a 365-day cycle.
Pretty much. That's pretty much how I live my life, Jake.
You
You never gave it a grade, I don't think.
I'm right with you. D plus.
Okay.
Like it's not like terrible. I can't drink it, but like
It's
I think about it before
needs
every
to gr-
sip.
it
you
needs
know what
to
I mean?
grow on me.
Like when you have to prepare yourself before every sip, that's usually when
it's not going to be an enjoyable
yeah,
experience.
You know, you're thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are experiencing a flavor that we're unsure about, and there's another controversial flavor around the holidays that I think is either loved or hated by many, and that is eggnog.
Oh.
So, are you a fan of the thick, milky drink that is eggnog?
No.
No?
I don't know, actually, to be honest. I feel like I had eggnog once, many, many years ago. It was like
And it scarred you enough
it was like
to not drink
average.
it
I don't even remember what it tastes like.
It's
just
sweet.
know-
It's like cinnamon, nutmeggy,
I just know I never really,
but it's spiced though, so it's got a spice to it.
I never go out of my way. I
Sure.
never ask.
Yeah.
I never.
Yeah. Where's
drink
the
it.
eggnog? You're not walking into a party asking where's the eggnog.
Not this guy.
But now we're at the age where you can kind of mask some eggnog drinks with some whiskey,
Rum.
Yeah, it's a heat you up a little bit during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Get comfy, get cozy, a little spiked, not
I
spiced.
mean, now we're at the age.
Well, I mean, I
We're
was
almost 30, Jake.
yeah, but I was never younger drinking like eggnog, being like, I wish I could spike this.
I feel like that is a thing you would do when you were younger.
Yeah, but I don't think so because it's not really like a kid friendly drink. I feel like eggnog just seemed so like. I always thought actually when I was younger, eggnog was alcoholic.
It's true. So did I.
I know they sell like Evan Williams eggnog, which
Oh.
is like pre-mixed,
Mm.
but a lot of people prefer to mix themselves. That all being said, I do. Again, I won't go out of my way, but if someone hands me an eggnog with some whiskey in it,
You'll drink it
Don't.
with glee?
don't mind if I don't.
You'll drink it with glee?
I'll drink it with glee, like a happy little elf. So I'm kind of I wanted to look back here
Okay.
and see where this eggnog even came from. And
Like where it originated?
yeah. And from what I'm gathering, it came from the medieval Britain drink called posset, which is a hot milky ale drink back in the 13th century.
Mm-mm-mm.
The monks were known to drink this combination with eggs and figs, milk, eggs, and sherry.
Leave
Sherry,
it,
not
leave it up to
cherry,
the. Yeah, sherry is a drink, like a wine.
were foods of the wealthy. So eggnog was often used in toast to prosperity and good health. So eggnog then became tied to the holidays when the drink hopped the pond in the 1700s. American colonies were full of farms and chickens and cows, and the cheaper rum. Us Americans, we know how to make that cheap rum.
That's right.
And it was a soon signature ingredient. Okay, so they did incorporate a nice little rum into it early on, back in the 1700s.
Right off the bat.
Right off the
Because
bat.
it wasn't good right off the bat. Leave it to the monks.
And then it's just talking about how, okay, Mexico adopted the eggnog drink, and Puerto Rico added coconut milk. Classic. The English name's etymology, however, remains a mystery. Some say nog comes from noggin, meaning a wooden cup or a grog, a strong beer. So we got the noggin, grog, or log. By the late 18th century, the combined term eggnog just became and stuck. Eggnog purists, not you or I,
Yeah, I was going to say, why are you pointing right at me?
but the eggnog purists argue that those who don't like the Yuletide drink have simply never tasted the real thing.
Might be true.
Sugar-laced supermarket versions cannot hold a candle to the homemade goodness, especially since the U.S. Food and Drug Administration permits that the drink can be made from as little as 1% egg yolk. That often borders on milk nog, not even close to eggnog. So, there you have it, folks. The Brits and the monks.
Yeah, you said something in there, Jake, that really caught my attention. And if we had some drops, I would hit it right now. Where'd you
That
come?
or
Where'd you come
this?
from?
That's the drop for this.
No, where'd you come from,
Okay.
Jake? Can't hold a candle to.
Mm.
Like what?
Cannot hold a candle.
Like what does that saying really mean? If you tried to break it down, we know what it means and how to use it. Like you can't. The one thing's so inferior to the other, but like.
Yeah. Is that like a candle to, or no, it's moth to a flame where you're drawn to it. Can't hold, candle to the wind? Can't hold a candle to the wind?
Don't spit into the wind.
I would also advise not to do that. I don't know. Can't
Well-
hold a candle to it.
Well, Jake, it doesn't take much to illuminate the origins of this phrase. The
Nice.
light of a single candle will do. Before electric lights, craftsmen would employ someone as a second pair of hands, chiefly to hold candles close enough so they could see what they were doing. As this was not a skilled job, the candle-holding apprentices were usually children. It would have been a grievous insult for trainee craftsmen to be told they weren't good enough to even hold the candle, let alone do the expert, highly trained work of the actual craftsman.
Okay.
So, holding a candle to something, or not being able to hold the candle to something, they're so inferior that they are tasks to be done by dumb children.
Oh my God. That reminds me of something way back right before like my grandma passed away. Not to bring the mood down, but
Yeah. We were having a good time.
I know, but this was something she said like weeks before she had passed away, so it's a very clear memory in my head.
Mhm.
She was over my house we were getting ready for, I guess, to have some company over, and my mom would give my grandma these kind of like mindless tasks just so she could keep busy
Right.
and whatever. And she was wrapping tin or utensils in like a napkin and tying a string around it, like to set the tables and
Okay,
whatever.
yeah.
And I had come in to the kitchen and she was doing that, and this was the first time I'd seen her that day, so I was saying hi and blah blah blah. And I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" Just like making small talk. And she's like, "Oh," she goes, "Your mother has me tying some." Whenever anyone starts something with, "Oh, this person has me doing this,"
Right.
they're usually not enjoying it.
Yep.
Your mother has me tying ribbon around utensils. I'm like, "Oh wow, it looks great," which it did. I wasn't lying. It looked nice.
Okay.
And
As far as ribbon around utensils goes.
yeah, she had the nice bow. She was
Yep,
doing
yep,
the scissor with the curls.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, she was killing it.
Mhm.
Right. I said, "Oh, it looks great." And she turns her head like real slow. She goes, "This is an idiot's job." And then she just kept rapping. I did that Homer Simpson where he just backs his to the bush.
Yeah.
Because I was like, younger, and you don't really know how to respond. Like if that was me now, I would have like pissed my pants. But
Right. Like now you're just getting yelled at by your grandma.
Well, that task couldn't hold a flame
to anything grandma's used to doing.
No, that was way below her league.
Since we started this podcast, I noticed it the whole hour before the podcast that we were sitting here.
Yeah.
But I've been staring at your sweater.
Yeah.
And what's up with the one sheep on your left shoulder?
You know what? I just recently got this.
So
I didn't even notice
Jake's
that.
wearing a Christmas sweater that looks knit almost. It's like
it's like a thick.
it's
knit.
sewed where you can like see the stitching for the whole sweater.
Yep.
I don't know how else to
It's
describe
a
it.
thick knit.
Like you can a thick knit, so you can almost see the
Thick knit.
the patchwork. It doesn't look like a cotton T-shirt
Mhm.
where it's like smooth. You could see all the seams
Correct.
of and all the sheep on his sweater
Are stitched.
are stitched in, so they're just part of the pattern.
My back too. Yep.
Except for one on his left shoulder that looks like it was sewed on top of the sweater.
It's got actual fur.
It's got fur. It's 3D compared to the rest of them.
What are we gonna call him? He's a special guy.
I was gonna say he's the only one with a bell, but he's not. All of them.
Yeah, all of them have bells, which was the fun part of it. I bought, Megan bought this for me. I don't even think she noticed.
It's just there's two, Jake.
Whoa! Wow.
So
We're discovering as we go.
maybe about 80% of the sheep on here are part of the sweater, and then two more were
I
just
wonder why.
added on after.
I
Somehow.
guess that adds to the ugliness because it's like inconsistent patterns.
Maybe, but
But see, you've had that one for a while, and yours is so unique because, at first glance, it looks
looks
just
like
it looks
every
like a
other-
generic, printed big print sweater.
Yep.
But after a triple, quadruple take,
Mhm.
you soon realize that those deer
two big giant deer on my front end. They go around.
are
all
absolutely
around,
just going at it.
are just participating in some sexual
Yes,
activities.
yeah, that's unbelievable. Yours is so subtly good. I actually haven't seen many that are like all the ugly sweaters now are just like
Or like not to
Yeah,
say
like,
like yours,
no,
but
like
like yours
this.
where it's
Like,
like
just-
gaudy.
really
Stuff,
ugly
color
looking,
combinations and
whereas
whatnot.
if like you have a tasteful sweater but closer look, not so tasteful.
Maybe someone's getting a taste of something.
Yeah, that's for sure. So this is going to be coming out day before Christmas Eve. So really
Day
settling
before
in
Christmas Eve,
Eve,
is Thursday.
the eve of Christmas Eve. Or we can put this out on Christmas Eve, whatever you'd like.
But I'm just trying to figure out when it's coming out.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday, one of the two. You staying local for Christmas?
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Same here.
Okay.
Maybe I'll see.
Well, you're coming home to be local.
Yeah, an hour away from
Right.
the studio.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Because
Keep it
our
up.
studio is located where you would have Christmas. Well,
Which
not
is-
right here,
Which
but
is here.
yeah, near here.
You lost me.
The studio where we record in
Where we are right
is
now.
located near where you're gonna have Christmas,
Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Me.
yeah.
Yeah. Very near.
and me only like 10 minutes away,
Yeah.
and I'll be there.
So why'd you say an hour away?
Well, because I'm coming from an hour away.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we got there finally.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything on your Christmas list? What are you
No,
wishing
actually.
for this year?
Actually, like nothing's on my Christmas list, and I feel like that's more of a problem for everyone else than it is
Yeah,
for me.
that's true. Grandparents and aunts and uncles hate it when there's nothing.
Parents, girlfriends.
Yeah, it's like help me out.
I got nothing for you.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple things that maybe I would want.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't really want to ask for it.
I know, that's the thing.
Like-
I don't like asking for things. I don't like when people go out and have to spend money on me.
That's not really the problem. I just don't. There's nothing I can really think of that like I want you to spend your money on for me because
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want it. So then it becomes like a waste of money.
That's true. You do have to want it enough because once you verbally commit to that, that's getting passed down the
then someone
family
else is
tree.
going to spend $50,
Yeah.
$100 on something. And then you know what? Maybe I don't really want that thing. But instead, now they have to piece together what they think I want for probably
Yeah.
just as much money. And then I probably really don't. Who knows? I'm sure I'm going to get some things that I'll really love.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because you mentioned some things. You're committed. You're probably gonna when it's smaller things. It's like, oh, I need a tie or
You're going to get a tie.
whatever. Yeah, you're gonna get that. But if you leave it kind of open-ended and like you hint at some things here and there that you don't even mean to hint at, where it's like, oh man, like
I wish I had a.
My car-
I wish I had a bandsaw.
yeah, it's like my car didn't start yesterday. I think I gotta get a new battery. Like you're just gonna have a Duralast under the tree, like those kind of things.
New car
sometimes.
battery is not the worst thing to get.
Yeah, it's $100 you don't have to spend right there. It's for
Exactly.
sure. But yeah, it's like, oh man, I wish I had this one tool for this one job I do like once every 10
That I
years.
saw once on YouTube or TikTok that it would be really cool to do as a side project.
So you get a whole kit for like installing a sink. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay,
Well, now I have to install a sink.
Yeah, so be careful what you're asking for out there.
Yeah.
Because you may or may
Well,
not get it.
I don't know who you're heeding this warning to, Jake, but this is coming out Christmas Eve pretty much. So if they're
Yeah, you
if
got
they're
limited time.
if they're taking that warning now,
Maybe I'll do the eve of Christmas Eve just so those people get the.
so you can warn some people.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat. I like practical now. We're getting older. We don't have like this like, oh, I need the newest toy or the newest X,
Right.
Y, and Z.
I
And
mean,
like
and that's-
anything that's new is expensive.
And that is something that like I kind of want is the new Xbox, but it's like $400
Yeah.
or $500. I'm not gonna really ask for that right
Which is
now.
kind of crazy as young kids that we
I
were
don't
like,
need that.
we asked for that for Christmas and like,
Oh well, I mean, when we were kids, what would you ask for? An Xbox and like some games for it.
yeah,
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have
yeah,
all this stuff, right? Tablets and whatnot,
get a Razor scooter here and there.
right? And so the most expensive thing we could ask for when we were kids was like a
newest
$300
technology.
Xbox,
Yeah.
maybe some games. So it comes to like $500 total,
Yeah,
right? So I did the Christmas tree lighting in
Yeah.
our town. I helped work it, whatever. And we had Santa come, and all the kids could sit on his lap and, I've been a very good boy, and I want this and this and this for Christmas.
such a
And I caught one of the kids talking and listened in on the conversation between him and
Snoops,
Santa.
Yep,
I didn't snoop. I was in my post, Jake. I was where I was supposed to be.
yep. Were you an elf or just
No, I actually flipped
a
the switch. I
bystander.
flipped the switch and lit the Christmas tree.
you? Wow, that's that's pretty impressive. Like I
Yeah.
thought, like the mayor of West Milford did that or something.
She did the countdown. I was behind the scenes next to the switch.
Okay. So you're just the guy that like in the back that made sure.
Yeah, I
you had
got
the timing
no
right.
glory from it besides anyone who
That's
knows.
a lot of pressure though.
That's what I
Because
said.
when she
When
when
they- when-
she points to the tree, it's got to go.
Well, now I got to start. I got to start this whole other story. So I was told I was going to work the tree lighting
Yeah,
month ahead of time, whatever.
that's a good enough time to warm up the finger and get the
Right.
timing right.
But I had no idea what I was going to be doing. No idea.
Ooh, okay.
So, I asked, he's like, oh, you're just going to be helping out. Well, I'll let you know when we get closer to the day. Had no idea until I got there.
okay.
So I helped set up our tent where Santa was going to sit under, some of the decorations and whatnot. Got some tables out.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, I'll probably help park someone or help Santa or stand by some of the food trucks in case people have questions or whatever. I was like, I'm just here to help.
Yep.
And then they tell me that you're going to light the Christmas tree. I was like, oh, okay.
This one.
I was like, all right, that's pretty important.
Yeah.
Like, I think you can handle it. I was like, are you sure you want me to do that? Like, there's going to be like hundreds of people here for this
Yeah.
one thing. And they're
It is
like, no,
true.
no,
It is
no.
called the tree lighting,
Yeah. It was the Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
featuring George Christmas.
Yeah. And so the one guy who works in the like DPW was like, I'll show you how it's done just so you know where it is and everything. I was like, all right, I need to see that
I
beforehand.
have to know where it's where it's
And
happening.
he takes me over. He goes, it's right over here on this telephone pole. And then it's just a
dial.
a literal switch, not even a dial, just a up down. And he goes, it's right here. He lifts the flap. And he goes, look at the tree. He goes, boom, boom, turns it on off real quick. He goes, just like that.
Were people around when he did that?
Yeah, well, it was still semi light out.
Okay, so like no one was like, oh, the tree.
Yeah. But like just real quick, just like boom, boom. He's like, just like that. I'm like,
right.
oh, okay.
Easy enough. Yeah, I can handle
And
it.
he's like, let's just make sure all the wires are plugged in. I was like, okay. He's
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
all the extension cords were plugged in. He goes, all right, you know
Should
where
be
you got to
fine.
be now. And I just had to wait around until it was time, and that was it. So after I, took on the extremely difficult responsibility of lighting the tree.
It's a high pressure job.
Yeah, I know.
Someone's-
I had to get
someone's
the
gotta do it.
countdown just right,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1,
Is it?
flip.
Yeah. Is it on after 1?
So that was actually while I was standing at my post,
You gotta bring the mayor over. and
waiting
ask.
to flip the switch. The countdown's going down. 10, 9,
Oh, and your
8.
heart's beating. A
I'm
little
like,
bit.
all right,
Yeah,
here we
your
go.
Hands are getting sweaty.
3, 2, 1. And I expected some noise or some like light the tree or something. There's 3, 2, 1. So I paused
It was
for a
like
second,
second and a half.
and then I lit it, and then everyone cheered and whatnot. So I
That's
actually didn't know if it was gonna be like 3, 2, 1 light.
yeah, but you
or-
built the suspense.
I think so. I
Like
think
that second beat where they're like,
I think I added
Bing.
to the whole event. I should have really let it milk the moment.
and you hear a couple, oh no, bing.
Yeah, people would have went crazy. So anyway, after I took care of business,
Yeah.
I worked my way over to our tent where Santa was sitting, and listened to the last couple kids that were going. And one of the kids gets up, young kid, maybe 7 or 8,
That's like
like low elementary school.
that's prime age for Christmas.
And he's sitting there asking Santa for a new iPhone, the
Yep.
new Xbox,
Yep.
some Nintendo Switch games, new
Okay.
games for his Xbox, Xbox controller, headphones, AirPods, like just going through the list.
so we're at like $3,000.
Yeah, easily. Easily. His new tablet,
That's it, Santa.
a new cover for his tablet, like
$5,000
Legos, like
dirt bike.
just running off, just, pretty much
Yeah.
actual common electronics that everyone has, but
yeah.
But just the price difference of like kids having the technology and wanting the technology. Like we only
Yeah,
had
that's a good point.
we only had one Game Boy and an Xbox when we were kids. Like we didn't have cell phones and tablets and AirPods and all this stuff that really racks up. the
Yeah,
price
that's a quick $3,000
easily.
easily.
I'm sure he's not getting all of that, but
Yeah.
that's what he wanted.
Hey, if Santa can provide, Santa
And if
will
you're
provide.
gonna ask anyone for it,
Yeah, it's
ask
true.
Santa.
Yeah, I used to like add like items the night before, like Christmas Eve.
Little did you know.
Yeah, I mean, we also talked about this too. Like, I was way too old to be believing in Santa.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's fine. I think
I've moved on from that. I think
I just think I pride my parents.
sticking it out.
I pride my parents in doing such a like unreal job of creating the
The
Christmas.
facade.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think it was partial of them doing a really good job
Mm-hmm.
and partial of me just being a young, naive kid
Yeah.
and not like wanting for it not to be real.
Mm-hmm.
That was a deadly combination.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, my
Jake.
dad would leave boot marks in our fucking fireplace and like soot on the carpet. Why would my parents put
Yeah, every time
ash on the carpet?
Jake's sitting there coming home from school every day. If he leaves his shoes on for 2 seconds,
Yeah.
gets his ass handed to him.
Like, there's no way my dad is gonna wake up at 3 a.m.
And
take
dirty his own
take
carpet.
his shoe, put it in the fireplace, and then like spill ash onto the carpet. Like, it just didn't add up to me.
You know what? That's a good point, because I feel like your parents would be sticklers for something like that. If
Yeah.
you tracked footprints through your house,
There was never shoes in the house.
right? You would
The first room was carpet, so you had to take shoes off right away.
you would never hear the end of it if you walked through the house with like muddy shoes.
Oh, I've
And
had,
your dad's just there Christmas morning, like, oh, he's never gonna suspect a thing.
Yeah, I mean the cookie and milk thing, believable because
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, I'm
Anyone
gonna
can
eat
eat them.
cookies.
That's a given.
Yeah, easy.
There was a moment in time. I'd probably told this story, maybe last Christmas, probably, but people have to be reminded that it's okay to believe in Santa,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how old you get.
Right.
Okay. There was a
I feel like
point.
you're setting us up that you still believe.
So how old are we when we're in 6th grade?
6th grade? I don't know. You have to really backtrack. I can tell you.
like 11,
If that's what you want it to be.
10 or 11. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. So my sister, she got a
11.
11. She got a cell phone when she was in 6th grade
Mhm.
for Christmas, and she opened it on Christmas morning. And at this point, I had a kind of I've realized that Santa's not real, right? 'Cause my sister's in 6th grade. I'm 15, 16.
Okay.
I've gone a couple of years being like, oh man, damn it, this is so annoying,
You still gotta pretend because your sister
Yeah, my
still
sister's
believes.
young, right?
Right.
So she opens up her cell phone. It's that like BlackBerry, not BlackBerry, that one where it flips open,
Okay.
whatever one it was.
Yeah.
And
With the full keyboard.
yeah, and does the fucking background of her phone not show our front yard covered in snow, Santa and his reindeer, right?
Right.
And the banner says "Merry Christmas, Tess."
So your dad's also a digital
Yeah, but at
artist or
that
whatever.
point, I didn't realize how good my dad was at those kind of things, right?
Right,
You're
right.
15 years old. You don't really care what your parents do for a living.
Right.
You just know what they do.
Mm-hmm.
She opens that phone up and she shows me.
And
I had this whole, like, I did like one of those
you went
things
through
where
a
like
mid-
you
you
sit
went through
down.
a midlife crisis
I had
at
to-
15.
I had to sit down and kind of like reevaluate that, like, wait, maybe this fucking thing is real after all.
Do you think your dad's sitting there like watching you go through this internal struggle of like, and he's just sitting there like, I fucking nailed it?
That's the
Like,
thing, though. I think my parents, well, at least they probably hoped that I still did not believe in Santa.
Well, then he's second guessing. Maybe I made this too real.
Yeah, because my grandma was actually the one who broke the news to me. Because we were just chatting, and she goes, "Your sister still believes, right?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I knew it."
Still believes.
Still
like
believes.
I.
Oh,
don't?
Santa? Oh, yeah, she does.
Oh
but,
yeah, she's a fucking idiot.
But that, like, oh my god, how stupid is she? That's
Yeah.
like ridiculous. And like,
Just
I went into the other.
one little tear comes out your eye. Just
I
one.
I walked into the kitchen, just like, give me some eggnog.
Yeah, put the rum in it.
Dude, but those were the fucking best times.
What, waking up Christmas morning when you still
Yeah, but when you were full on in it,
mm-hmm.
like, but I also never wanted to look for presents around the house. Like, I
No,
had
I-
friends in school say like, "Oh, I found all my parents' presents,"
Yeah, I never did that.
and honestly, like, why would you want to like give that up?
Yeah, and it's not even just like. Well, I guess some people don't like surprises. Like Ari does not like surprises.
Yeah,
Like,
but did she
I don't know if
not
she-
like Christmas growing up?
She loves Christmas, but like if I tell her, just not even like a present, but like I got her something as like a gift, like
Oh, it's like tell me now.
it'll be here. Like tell me now, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't even. Yeah,
Or like if
Yeah,
she
Megan's the same
or if
way.
she gets me a surprise, like she almost can't.
can I
like,
just show you what,
Yeah, like-
what color it is?
yeah.
It's like,
don't you
no,
want
just wait.
Don't you want to hint?
Wait a week.
Yeah. So I think some people, not necessarily don't like surprises, but like can't. They just want to know. Like they can't handle, like the suspense of a surprise gift or something. And like I'm just like it's coming. I know it's gonna be there. Like I'll just wait till Christmas. So I never really looked. And I think my parents.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
my
yeah.
parents didn't always tell me. Every present comes from Santa. So like
Oh, mine did too.
I knew
Yeah.
I knew that
Yeah.
oh, don't look in my closet. Those are the gifts.
Yeah, those
I
are
got you.
our gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
that was smart on their part too.
Yeah, so
My
like
parents did
I
the
didn't
same
go in
thing.
there and find like, oh, there's more gifts than what I got from my parents.
Dude, I look back like there's just like we're so blinded by the Christmas like spirit of it all that like my parents would write, probably my mom, she would write like from Santa on the tag, and it was like that like just scratchy scribbly writing, and I'm like, that is exactly how fucking Santa would write it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't think like,
yeah, my
why
mom
would
doesn't.
my mom try
doesn't
to...
write in script.
I'm like, why?
And I know she doesn't own a sparkly gold pen, so this has got to
yeah,
be.
I'm like, why would she try to? Why would she like, how do you even fake that?
Yeah, my mom definitely wrote in a sparkly gold or silver pen, and from Santa, and then all of her presents were in like a black or blue pen. Just mom
Dude, I can't wait.
to trick your kids.
No, to have our kids
And
go through that.
the funnier thing with kids now is the Elf on the Shelf thing.
Dude, a new thing. That must be in the past 10 years.
Yeah, but like that's like a whole game you play with your
Yeah.
kids of just messing with them.
Yeah, I don't even know where that came from, but I hear it's fun, right? You like move it around the
I
house
saw a
every
picture
night.
on Twitter the other day of the parents or someone positioned their elf pissing into shooter bottles of Fireball. So
Wow.
it looks like the Fireball comes from Elf on the Shelf piss. The secret
Yeah, see, I
ingredient.
can't wait to get creative with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be a blast. All right, let's cut to a quick break and come back with some more festivities.
After a word.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, Jake.
Um,
It's a tough word, Jake, for the evil genius Santa. I know him. Festive Saison beer.
let's call this. What's the Miles Finch hyphen?
Yeah.
Miles Finch.
Why? Because he's a South
He's
South
an,
Pole
he's
elf?
an angry elf.
Does that mean it's a good thing or a bad thing?
It's okay. It's a holiday beer. Like a lot of them kind of have this, like, trying to be festive spiciness to it, where it just kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really
Yeah, like
get the job done.
it really just keeps reminding me of like a light beer that someone like just like sprinkled in holiday seasoning.
Like it's not extremely bold because it has that kind of like pale ale taste to it.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if it was like stronger and like darker and bolder, it would be like, okay, it's meaning to be like
Yeah, like it
a
doesn't
holiday beer.
Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah. So I'm just going to go with a
But that is technically, it's a festive Saison, which is a pale ale, and it's
Right.
festive. So, I mean, technically,
I'm going
they
to
are
I'm
doing-
going to I'm going to pick Ninny Muggins.
ooh, good. That's good.
You know, I kept this one to one word. I could have said cotton-headed Ninny Muggins.
Yeah.
But
Or Miles Finch.
or Miles Finch.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with just one word this time because I think Ninny Muggins is one word.
Ooh, that reminds me. When we come back, I want to discuss something from Elf that's always pissed me off.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back after this brief message.
Yep.
And we're back.
Back.
Jingle jangle.
Ho ho ho.
Oh yeah. So before we went to break, we were talking about Elf. You had
Mm.
mentioned Ninny Muggins,
Mm-hmm. You mentioned
Miles Finch,
mm-hmm.
the writer.
And then obviously the beer.
Santa, I know him. So Elf themed, right?
Yeah.
So there's a part in the movie where I want to make sure I get this right because it's a plot hole that I think I found.
Whoa.
Very minor, nitpicky plot hole.
Okay.
So you remember when the people are pitching Miles their stories
Yes.
and he's listening to them, right?
Yep.
And the one guy says, you're on some sort of farm, and like asparagus farm, and the kids are like are self-conscious about the way their pee smells. You remember the guy explaining that story?
Sure.
And he said something about no farms, and then no peaches, like something is too vulnerable. He was like, there's fruit, it's too vulnerable. Okay. And then someone explained this. Oh no, he had two pitches. I think one of them was peaches,
Yep.
and one of them was on a farm.
Okay.
He said, no fruit and no farms, too vulnerable.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, remember, he storms off and he leaves his black book.
Is there nothing about someone's pee smelling?
Well, no,
Or you
there
just
is.
moved
No,
on?
he said it's asparagus farm, and the kids are self-conscious about how their pee smells.
Okay.
And he says no farms.
Mhm.
He's something about agriculture, and then he said and no fruit, like it's too vulnerable.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
He leaves his black book after he
Yep.
storms off.
Right.
The guy who initially pitched the story
Mm-hmm.
finds the book and brings it in. Remember? He says, we found the book.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He opens up.
He said there's gold ideas in here.
Yeah. He opens up to a page, and it's like a tomato farm.
Yeah.
And he said, he goes, read this pitch, and he reads the thing about the tomato farm. And he says, this is brilliant. What's more vulnerable than a tomato farm?
Yeah.
And I was like, he just explained.
Well, if they're just showing off how big of a dick this guy is, this angry elf.
I don't know. I think it's a plot hole. I think they missed that part.
Well, if they just want to show that he wants all the ideas to be his ideas and his ideas only.
Maybe. That could be the case.
He's just making up excuses why they can't use that
But
guy's
it's
idea.
the one thing, whenever I watch that movie, it just really grinds my gears because he's like, nope, too vulnerable. And then his idea was exactly what the guy had pitched.
Not fruit though.
Tomato.
Or
On
maybe
a farm.
maybe tomato is a fruit technically, right? So maybe when you do fruit on a farm, it's the perfect combo.
Oh, dude, it grinds my gears. I wonder if there's anything about it.
Speaking, I mean, I don't want to say it's a loophole, but we watched Polar Express at Ari's house the other night
Okay. Yeah.
with her family, pretty much.
It's a solid Christmas movie.
It's a great Christmas
Yeah.
movie. Well, one of the top ones.
One of the most iconic.
Maybe, but it's a really good. I think it's universally liked. Some people would say it's their favorite. It's up there. It's a
Yep.
good one. There's just some things that just like are obviously it's like this whole dream, I guess, kind of thing or whatever you want to get too into it. But like one, the Santa is like a skinny Santa, if you remember.
Yeah.
If you can envision him, he's like not fat.
Right.
He's like
Right.
skinny, so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a little.
Yeah,
He looks a little off. You know, just when you envision Santa coming out for the first time, you know all this build up. They finally get to see him. And when you first see him, he opens the door and all you see is his shadow, and then he steps out and he's like a skinny Santa. It's like okay, that's a little like their own adaptation of Santa. That's fine, but it's a little weird. And then when they find the present for the one kid early when they're like lost and they stumble across little Billy's package and you know they're like, oh, it says Billy from.
Yep.
He writes Mr. C. Which whoever refers to
Yeah.
Santa Claus
This
is
is Mr. Claus. Or Mr. C.
Mr. C. Mr. Claus would be even fine, but no one ever refers to him Mr. C. And then when I forget the main character's name now, but little Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
when he wakes up the next day and realizes, oh, maybe it was all a dream, but then he actually gets the jingle bell back.
Yep.
And he like realizes, oh my God, I still believe the spirit of Christmas and all that. There's a note in the box saying you should really get that hole in your pocket fixed from Mr. C. Again. So it's just like these
yeah.
the whole movie is a great movie and even that doesn't ruin the
Oh.
movie. But it's like I'm not saying it's like
Yeah,
some
but
deep plot or anything. I'm not saying there's some twist or anything. It's just like weird the way that they reference and portray Santa.
oh yeah, it's a
in,
good point.
in the Polar Express. Like
I
he's
don't think
he's
I
a
ever
little
really picked that up.
skinnier, and that's like the first time I ever see him called Mr. C as like a serious thing. Like obviously some movies like oh Mr. C like a little
Right.
like a little jab like joking around or something, but
Like a little kid, yeah.
yeah, like him calling himself Mr. C is just like a
Oh.
little strange to me.
That is strange. I don't think I've ever picked that up.
I don't know if it was anything to pick up. I watched it and I was like, who calls,
Yeah, but it's a little thing
who
that
calls
you
him
notice.
Mr. C?
I did a little research,
Okay.
and there's a Reddit on Miles Finn's consultation.
Always. Reddit for everything.
I should have started this. So when they consulted on
Well,
ideas,
Hang on, you should start one about car commercials and people buying them for theirs.
there's probably already Reddit. I'm never on Reddit, so I never really know much about it. But I guess it's
There's a subreddit for everything.
So when they consulted on ideas with Finch, he said, no tomatoes. They're too vulnerable. And kids, they're already vulnerable. Then they found Finch's notebook, and his best idea was a peach. What's more vulnerable than a peach? Was Finch lying to them? Why, other than a plot device, would he need to do that?
What do people say? People on Reddit come up with good answers.
That's the point. They specifically pointed out exactly how you said, what's more vulnerable than a peach. He then went and made the movie James and the Giant Peach. Ooh.
Yeah, but then who knows, half these answers are all troll answers on Reddit.
Yeah. Who said it was his best idea? Maybe he'd written it out and then realized it wouldn't sell.
It's
and
too
that's why he
vulnerable.
didn't give it to him.
Right.
If they didn't think it was an actual good idea, they should have just gone with their own vulnerable character. No sense risking a lawsuit in case he has everything backed up somewhere. Jesus Christ.
That's very practical
Yeah,
advice.
this guy's a lawyer. he does copyright.
That guy actually writes children's books. He's been in that exact situation before.
Okay, so maybe they got a good point. Maybe they like
That was his worst idea.
yeah, or it was like they pointed it out to show that like he was just a douche and he wanted to keep his best idea his.
Yep.
All right, so
It all makes sense a little
yeah,
bit.
it all makes sense. Okay, so I wanted to bring up a little Christmas trivia.
Okay.
I haven't looked at this either. It's best Christmas trivia questions to impress your family this holiday.
That's what we are. That's what we are, Jake.
Because family wants nothing more than to be impressed by your Christmas knowledge around the dinner table
It's true.
or around the tree. while
Everyone
opening.
loves someone at a party, holiday or not,
who says, "Did you know?"
who is just a know-it-all.
Oh, eggnog, huh?
You'd be surprised where that came from.
Monks, you ever heard of them?
Let me tell you something.
You ever heard of a brog or a grog?
No.
No, I haven't. Oh, well, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, sit down. Let's all get a glass of
Did you
eggnog.
know
while I
that
tell
the
you.
eggnog you're drinking is probably made with like 1% egg?
It doesn't even hold a candle.
Doesn't even hold a fucking
candle to real eggnog.
nog. And you call yourself a purist, you sick son of a bitch.
Did you know where that saying "hold a candle to" comes from?
Oh, you didn't?
It's just pretty much our podcast.
Well, let me tell you the story about my grandma.
We just summarized our whole episode as to why those people are so annoying. You realize that?
Want to hear what my grandma said before she died? Sure. All right. That is true.
We just called ourselves out.
That's
as,
fine.
As
we
being
know.
the annoying guys on
I
the party.
know, but we know who we are.
Well, hopefully, other people accept us for who we are.
Yeah, probably.
All right, as you were saying.
As I was saying. All right. When were gingerbread houses invented?
I don't know, 100 BC.
First line, quite a while ago, actually.
Yeah, a long time ago, I would imagine.
Thought to be invented in Germany in the 16th century.
So 1500s.
1500s.
I mean, a lot more recent than I was expecting the answer to be. I thought it was going to be something crazy.
I think it says it rose in popularity with the Hansel and Gretel story. So that's when they think it was invented.
So the author of Hansel and Gretel just wrote gingerbread and someone had to make it, and then here we are. Everyone makes a gingerbread cookie
I
house.
think so.
Like this guy just made up gingerbread house cookie.
And that's how the gingerbread cookie crumbles.
Interesting.
How many U.S. households?
Hmm.
So ballpark the number.
Yeah, how specific am I getting here? 17.
Put up a Christmas tree.
How many?
Or you can give me a percentage of American households.
Okay.
Because there's two options. In here.
Okay. 62%.
That's close. It's 77%.
Wow.
But out of the whole population of America, it's pretty
Higher
close.
than I thought.
Yeah, 95 million.
That was my next guess.
More than 95 million.
I would have got it right if you didn't tell me I could go percentages.
It's like that game on Xbox where it's you guess the percentage of.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's a good one.
Jack in the Box.
Guespionage,
Jackbox.
maybe.
Guespionage is what it's
Guespionage,
called. It's
yeah.
part of the Jackbox collection.
That's a great one. That's one of my favorites.
Guespionage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. When was the term Xmas come to fruition?
It's got to be something recent, I would think. Is it Generation X was what, the 90s kids? Maybe a little before that. So I'm going to go 65.
So, while the normal human would think that is the case. Well, many think the shortened version of Christmas is a modern creation. It harkens back
we go.
all the way
All the way.
to the 1500s again. And the Greek letter X.
That was like the Renaissance of Christmas, huh?
Yeah, so
the
the Greek
1500s.
the Greek letter X, which is the first word in, well, you guessed it, the Greek word for Christ.
Makes
So.
sense. Makes sense.
Xmas, not even close to where I thought that came from. I always thought it was for like cross,
Well, it kind of is.
like crisscross. Yeah, I
It
guess it is
kinda
from
is.
that, but like,
It's from Christ,
yeah,
who is one of the main symbols of
yeah.
Christ, and that is all.
But
is
I
a cross.
didn't think it came from like Christ cross. I thought it came from like crisscross.
Yeah.
Like Christmas, crisscross.
I
Yep.
see.
Moving on. How many packages does USPS deliver during the holidays?
How many people put up a Christmas tree again? 95 million?
95 million, about 77% of that.
Okay, so I'm going to go
Hold on.
120 million packages.
Uh,
Just UPS?
USPS.
Oh, that's the U.S. Postal Service.
And you said what?
I'm going to cut it back. I said 120 million.
Okay.
I'm going to cut it back to, what did we say, 95 million put up Christmas trees?
Yeah.
90 million packages. 60 million.
Well,
60 million
You
packages.
should have gone the other direction.
170 million packages. 200 million packages.
They projected 800 million packages reaching Americans between Thanksgiving of 2019 and New Year's Day of 2020. So this was last year's census. I can only imagine it's more now. That's just USPS.
True. Not Amazon, which I'm sure delivers twice the amount of it.
20.5 million packages a day average through Christmas, Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Our tax dollar hard at work.
Yeah, seriously. True or false? Jingle Bells was always a Christmas song.
I feel like I should say false,
You
but I
gotta
want to say true.
You gotta say false when it's like that, but
Yeah.
it is false.
Yeah.
It was written in the mid 19th century, so not as far back as we'd like to think.
Yep, not the 1500s.
While it was written by a guy named James Pierpoint.
Not Jingle Jangle?
While he experienced a bout of homesickness while living in Savannah, Georgia.
So, the words to Jingle Bells doesn't reference Christmas in there at all?
It is debated, though, that some believe it was originally written for the Thanksgiving program at his father's church. That is a high debate. I've heard about that a lot.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really reference
Christmas.
Christmas at all. Just snow.
So he was in Savannah, missing his hometown of wherever it was, probably snowy. It's got Christmas theme, so you can only imagine it was written for the holiday, but maybe
It doesn't really.
in a one-horse open sleigh.
That's
That's
all.
the
That's
only
all they.
thing, right?
That's all they could. That's how they traveled back then.
Oh, great point.
Was not
Great point.
necessarily sleighs, but like buggies
Yeah,
and
yeah.
carts. It just talks about snow, and I think we correlate the sound of jingle bells just as a Christmas sound, as in the movie previously referenced, The Polar Express.
Yep, the bell.
He seeks the first wish of the first gift of Christmas is a jingle bell because he wants to hear it and believe.
We got that bell in the tree at home.
Yep.
One from the movie, actually, too.
Wow, you took it out of the cartoon movie.
Yep. It was a lot of money.
Yeah,
A lot of money.
I bet.
Set us back quite a bit. But hey, 'tis the season. This is true or false. Founding father George Washington was a fan of
Chopped down the first Christmas tree.
eggnog.
That's got to be true.
True. Founding
Yes.
father even had his own recipe where he forgot to note the number of eggs he needed, but included the albeit important instruction, taste frequently.
Okay.
So he had his own recipe, but let's just say he didn't have the eggs dialed in.
And no one will ever know it, I guess.
No one will ever know. I mean, I don't know how many eggs are supposed to go into a thing of eggnog.
Well, if you had your own recipe, Jake, I'm sure you'd figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
As long as you're tasting
tasting it frequently. All right. What two things made red and green popular Christmas colors? Oh, this is interesting.
Well, it's got to be
One I think you might get.
evergreen tree or pine,
Yeah, close.
and then the cherries or whatever the red
Oh, yeah, those little suckers.
the red things.
So the answer is holly for the green.
Okay.
You know, that little like spiked 3-prong
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the red, would you believe it? Coca-Cola.
That's why we use red and green.
Well, the tradition
Says this trivia.
Well, the tradition of red and green holly dates back to Roman winter solstice.
The red and green holly.
Yes.
So it had red in it.
Just let me finish.
Yeah.
The Coca-Cola Company played a huge role. The soda makers popularized the plump and jolly red suit wearing the jolly red wearing suit wearing Santa in an ad in 1931.
Now they just use polar bears all the time.
Yeah, so I don't really buy that Coca-Cola did it. They probably just like used Santa, who was already wearing red,
Right. Yeah, so he was already dressed in red. Unless
but they just emphasized.
What if he wasn't always wearing red? What if Coca-Cola put him in
Ooh.
red for the first time?
Mandela effect?
Who knows?
Who knows? Okay. So we know that about 77% of Americans put up a tree.
Mm-hmm.
But of those 77%, how many buy artificial Christmas trees?
Especially nowadays.
And we can go, of that 77%, you can give me a percentage.
So, like, if I think half of
Correct,
the 77%, I could say 50.
Uh-huh.
Then I would say 40%.
I was right with you. It is the opposite.
70%?
80%.
Mm.
In 2018, 82% of Christmas trees in American households were artificial.
That's a lot.
According to, listen to this. Can you believe this is a real thing?
We'll see.
The American Christmas Tree Association.
Hell of a job.
How do you get a job there?
I don't know.
You have to be.
You got to apply.
have to own a Christmas tree farm.
You said 82%?
Yeah.
I think that's about 78 million Christmas trees are fake.
Wow. And only the 30 million are real.
Yeah, less.
Wow. Crazy. Okay, here we go. Who came up with the idea for Elf on the Shelf?
Wow. Things come full circle,
I
don't
know.
they, Jake? It's a specific person?
Yeah.
It's one person?
Yeah, and you've never heard of her, so let's go.
You don't know.
for it.
You don't know who
Dude,
or
if you-
what I have heard
if
of.
you say this name, I will honestly do anything you ask me to do. Like
Those
there's a no holds bar.
Jake, those are high stakes.
It is a no holds bar bet.
Those are high stakes.
I really hope you don't pull like a Casey and just be like, oh yeah, I just read an article about that.
Well, I actually did just read an article. As I told you, I saw an elf on the shelf pissing into a fireball shooter.
Well, we didn't shake on this, so I'd go back. on
Give
my
me
bet.
initials.
CA. Oh, actually 3 people, so it's a mother and 2 daughters. So you get any of these 3 names, I'll still do anything you ask. Top thing on your Christmas
Cynthia.
list? Well, they're actually all first initial or C. That's kind of crazy. But
Cynthia.
Yep.
Is that one of them?
no, it's not.
Okay. Carol.
Okay, yeah, that is the name of one of them.
Okay. All right. Carol.
And
That's
A.
so fitting. That it's Carol,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, Carol. And A is the last one. Or A, B, or P.
What? They all have different last names?
Yeah. Yeah,
thought it
they're
was a
probably
mother and-
married though. They're so they took their
But they all have
s-
different last names?
significant others' last
Oh, I
names.
see what
yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah,
So Carol. Well, what's Carol's last initial? Is it A?
yeah. A, yeah. She's got the craziest last name of them
Great.
all.
Great. It's got to be. Atkinson.
Okay. It's not Atkinson. It's Carol Aebersold. Aebersold.
Right on the tip of my tongue.
And then I thought you might have guessed Bell when I said B, because it's Shonda Bell
Shonda.
and Krista Pitts. Okay, so they grew up with their own elf, Fizby, who reported back to Santa every night leading up to Christmas.
Fizby.
Eventually, the family wrote a children's book and launched the company that sparked today's countless ideas for the funniest tradition of Elf on the Shelf. So it all started with an actual elf being on a shelf in Carol's house.
It's just the random stuffed animal that these kids had.
Damn, I wish we could create a tradition like that just like takes off.
Oh, Jake, write a children's book.
About what?
You had a stuffed animal when you were a kid?
Yeah, a lion. His name was Junior.
You're off to a good start, I think. Did it feature around any kind of specific holiday at all? Did you get it on a certain holiday?
I got it when I got a concussion.
Okay. All right.
So maybe we
can
write a
start-
story about
We can
like,
start the concussion lion.
Yeah, who brings back memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost
Okay.
lost memories. Yeah, he goes to hospitals and he helps kids remember. Cuz that's where I got him.
I don't think we want to limit ourselves to
To the
hospitals.
hospital
but
too vulnerable? Yeah.
Too vulnerable.
Yeah, it's true. And kids are already vulnerable. Okay, how fast would Santa's sleigh have to travel to deliver presents all around the world?
like like light years or whatever. Milliseconds.
About 6 million miles per hour.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so factoring in all the children who celebrate Christmas, around 700 million. And the total time Santa would have due to in time zones, 31 different hours. A physicist at Exeter
Of course.
University
Oh,
determined that
not a member of the Christmas Tree Society?
Yeah. Honestly, I wish it was. That'd be so funny if it was. Yeah, the president of the Christmas Tree Association determined how fast. Yeah, you have
The
to,
CTA.
he would have to travel so fast that his reindeer would break the speed of sound.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was another thing when I was getting older too. I was like, you start to like pick up your surroundings and become a little bit wiser, and you're like, "There's no way
That he makes it there.
he makes it all
everywhere
And
in one night.
So I asked my parents, so quick on their feet. Again, we were in the car, and I'm like, "How do these people like out here in the woods, like we were in like a backwoods area, get their presents?" And my dad was like, "Oh, he doesn't stop at every house. Like, he can only get into certain houses because like chimneys and all that." He goes, "For the ones that he can't, he just sprinkles his dust." And I was like, "Oh, the dust,
Well,
duh,
yeah, it's always the magic,
The-
Jake. The magic.
of course."
Yeah. That's how the
Why didn't I
reindeer
think of the
fly and all that.
dust?
Yeah.
I
I just remember along the same track of like starting to become skeptical and like growing up and like thinking of like flaws in Santa,
yeah,
like
yeah,
how it can't be. Like I remember one of the first things I did. I'm sure I did some other things I don't remember, but I remember like writing him like, "Can you send me a picture of you? Like I need a picture of you." And like that's so easy. My parents just framed
right.
a picture of some generic Santa and gave it to me on Christmas. I was like, "Oh, he's got to be
Yeah,
real.
he's
He's got to be real. Look, he
It's
sent
the
me a
little,
picture."
it's the little signs.
And then like one year I was talking about I think I had like or my parents had one of the old like video recorders.
oh yeah,
video
yeah,
camera.
handholds.
So like I was like, you know what? I remember telling my parents like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna set up the video camera like in a corner.
Okay.
So when Santa comes, I capture him on
Yeah, your
camera and
parents
I
like shit.
I see he's real. And I remember it. My parents must have told one of my older cousins because I remember going to my cousins for Christmas, which we used to do every Christmas Eve, and most of them were older than me.
Uh-huh.
They were like, I don't know, 10 years older than me or whatever. So right when I'm starting to not believe, I don't know how old you are, like 10, whatever.
Yeah.
They're 20. They're old.
Okay.
So I remember him coming up to me the Christmas I'm like planning to set up this camera and like hide it and like telling people like I'm gonna get him this year. I'm gonna get Santa on video and it's gonna be real. My one cousin comes up to me and goes, "I hear you're gonna catch Santa on
Catch
camera."
claws.
And he's like, I was like, "Yeah,
Catching claws.
yeah, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna set up a sneak camera." He's like, "I did that one year." He's like, "You know what Santa did? I never saw Santa. All of a sudden, I can picture the tree, and all of a sudden, you see some red pants go in front of the camera, and just one big white moon in the camera, and then he covered it up. I was like, I don't want to see that. I'm never going to set up the camera. So I never did it.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
That's smart. I thought he was going to say I just got coal because
Nope.
he knew I was going to try and catch him.
Nope. Santa mooned him, is what he told me.
Wow.
I was like, I don't want to see Santa's butt.
Yeah, see, when you're so young like that, like anything people say, you're like, oh, of course.
Yeah, he's like,
Makes sense.
he's like, how silly was I to think that I could trick Santa? Santa sees everything. I'm like, that's true. He's
There's
gonna know right where the camera is.
That's another book, Catching Claws.
Yeah.
This kid tries and tries and tries until his cousin convinced him that
Until
Santa just
Junior
flashes
the
his
Lion?
butt. Yeah, until Junior the Lion. Okay, so we were just talking about this before. Why do people kiss under the mistletoe?
People were allergic back in the day.
There's a couple different myths of why. Some believe it connected to fertility, while others believed that the practice stems from a German myth, which states that when a god of truth and light was killed by an arrow made of mistletoe, his mother used its white berries to bring him back to life. To celebrate, she promised to kiss anyone passing by the sacred plant.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one better.
Sounds more magical.
Yeah, it does.
The
Highest
other one's probably true, though.
yeah.
Sounds more believable.
Honestly, fertility and the mistletoe.
Just like a little more fertility.
Highest grossing Christmas movie of all time.
Could it be The Polar Express?
No.
No. Okay. Could it be The Grinch?
Close.
What do you mean close? Elf?
Doctor
Elf.
The Grinch Stole Christmas, the original,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, is the runner-up to this movie.
Oh. It's not. It can't be The Christmas Story, right?
Nope, it's
No.
not.
Is it a newer movie? Is it an older movie?
1990.
90. Home Alone?
Yep.
Yeah.
The movie that almost never was.
So they say.
Yeah, it brought $286 million at the box office, making it the most successful holiday movie ever. Even with inflation, brings its total revenue up to $528 million. Still surpasses the runner-up, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. There you go. A couple more, and then we'll go eat some cookies and have eggnog.
Yes.
What's the most popular shopping day during the holiday season?
It's got to be Black Friday.
Easy.
Easy. Moving on.
Okay. Most popular Christmas song of all time. We know the most highest
Bells?
grossing movie.
Is it Jingle Bells?
Or
Or Here Comes Santa Claus?
so there's the most recorded Christmas song,
Okay.
and then there's the best selling Christmas song.
Interesting. Deck the Halls?
No.
Here Comes Santa Claus?
No.
White Christmas
Yes.
is which one?
That holds the Guinness World Record for the best selling single,
Mm.
holiday single. But the most recorded Christmas song of all
Mhm.
time is Silent Night.
Okay.
So that's the most recreated
Yeah.
Christmas song.
Makes sense.
What's your
Favorite
Christmas jingle, jangle, ballad?
I don't know. Jake, I don't know. Deck the Halls?
Okay, solid
I
one.
don't know. I don't really when it's Christmas time
It's almost
and
like
it's time-
background music.
and
at
time to
that-
put
you
on
know what I
music.
mean?
That's
It's
what I was
just
gonna say. Like I don't really go, I
love
could
this
finally
song.
listen to Jingle Bells now. It's that
Yeah.
time of year. I kind of just go to a Christmas playlist and hit shuffle.
Yeah, and it's all
Or-
the classics. Come on, yeah.
Or we have Christmas CDs for like my parents' house, and I just pop one in, and it's just kind of going while we were
Yeah.
decorating the tree and stuff. Like
That's true.
just kind of sets the mood more than I listen to Christmas
Then
music.
okay, then what song can you not stand during the holidays?
I think they're all really fine to me. I mean, I
What
guess
ab-
if I had to pick one and it comes to mind, it would probably be Silent Night. It's just like a
Oh, wow,
slow paced operatic song.
Yeah, that's true. It's more of a ballad.
Yeah,
more of a
not my
slow
taste. If
song.
I had to pick one, it's the only one I can think of right now.
I think mine is Mariah Carey's. Her most
All I
popular.
Want for
Yeah, All I
Christmas?
Want for Christmas. Yeah.
I don't
think,
mind that one though.
I think my favorite Christmas song
Yep. Would be,
maybe
maybe.
Little Saint Nick by the Beach Boys, or that song where it's like
Very specific.
simply.
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
For Christmas time.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
That's a good one. Yeah, I like those more upbeat ones. A little more
Yeah.
modern.
Yeah, when just they're going ham on the jingle bells in the background.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
gets you going.
Okay, last couple.
It's provocative. It gets the people going.
going. All right, so we know how many people put up those Christmas trees, but when do you think the Christmas tree became a popular tradition?
1500s, 16th century.
Solid guess.
If I had to pull something out of my hat.
So historians have found evidence of the Christmas tradition beginning with the ancient Egyptians.
Wow.
Holiday trees really took off when Queen Victoria and Prince Albert adopted the tradition at Buckingham Palace
Not
in 1846.
not Christmas trees. Holiday trees.
Holiday
Did they put
trees.
up a new tree for every holiday?
It doesn't say. I have a very limited answer.
Easter
bank
tree?
here.
Valentine's Day tree?
It says Christmas tradition.
Yeah. Well, that's just
Then
where
it says holiday trees.
right. It's just the Christmas tree tradition started back when they started doing holiday trees.
Yeah. Okay, so
They put up the old Halloween tree.
maybe we should start bringing the tree back for all the holidays.
You just
I'm
always
down
have a
for that.
tree in your
Yeah,
house.
I know some people who have like a little tree or like some sort of
Like a plant that they
plant in
put
their
some
house
lights
they
on.
decorate every season. You know.
Oh, they decorate it every season.
Yeah, so my mom's got some twigs in a bucket at home.
Wow. Hopefully she doesn't listen to this.
A really nice way to describe a decoration where she, orange lights for Halloween, red and white for Valentine's Day, green
Gotcha.
for St. Patty's, all that fun stuff.
mhm.
Where we learned that green is not even the original St. Patty's; it's like light blue.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yeah, well,
Way
that's
back in the day.
that's St. Patrick's color is
Yeah.
light blue. Yeah.
Okay, so another tradition. Why do we hang those Christmas stockings?
For Santa to put the presents in, Jake, come on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
The tradition came about thanks to a legend.
Well, did you ever watch the movie Klaus?
Yeah,
Klaus.
Klaus.
In that one, when Klaus is getting sent into all the houses to deliver the presents, at one point he just puts one in a sock that's air drying over the fire.
Yeah.
And so then the kids go, "Hey, if you leave your socks over the fireplace, Santa will put your presents in your socks, your stockings."
I think this might have a little bit of a similarity to it.
Yeah. But I feel like that's like a very realistic way that tradition could have started.
Yeah, so this legend states that the generous Turkish bishop, say that 3 times fast.
Yep.
Generous Turkish bishop, Saint Nicholas.
Too many like soft
Yeah,
S's.
Shush.
Yeah.
St. Nicholas helped a set of 3 poor sisters avoid a life of indentured servitude by paying for their dowries. For 3 nights, the bishop threw gold down their chimney, which landed in their stockings
Wow,
hung
3
by
nights
their
in a row, huh?
fireplace that were drying.
Yeah. What a toss.
Nice, right? Good aim. Now we carry on the tradition by hanging stockings to fill with gifts and small treats during Christmas.
Sounds about right.
Last one.
Okay.
Who
Who
made the first gingerbread cookie?
Who?
Yeah. Come on, you know.
Santa. No. Who wrote the nursery rhymes? Is it that guy?
No.
Oh, is it going to be
It's a big name.
King Henry the Seventh?
Well, like always, some evidence suggests that recipes have existed all the way back in 2400 BC. However, it's Queen Elizabeth I that's known for creating the modern-day gingerbread cookie we all enjoy during the season.
She didn't bake.
She had people bake for her.
Yeah.
To impress a group of guests visiting her palace,
Buckingham.
the Queen asked... the Queen asked for a
She
series...
guests over to Buckingham Palace to view her holiday tree.
Yep. So they asked for a series of special gingerbread cookies designed to look like each visitor.
Oh, okay. But still, I'm sure.
There you have it. Now go and impress your family with those fun little tidbits.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll love it.
Oh, man. Well, was that festive enough for you guys?
Well, if it wasn't, Jake, it's time for this week's riddle.
If it wasn't, we're still leaving.
So this
Oh, no,
week-
we didn't do the riddle at the beginning.
That's fine. I'll just give the answer. We'll give
We'll
give
let
him,
him
give him a
pause.
minute to pause.
Yeah.
When going around the world, I can find the way. I go to every country with Santa himself. What am I?
All right, one more time.
When going around the world, I find the way. I go to every country with Santa himself. What am I?
All right.
Pause
I'm
the
gonna
podcast
insert.
now if you want to try and answer it.
I'm gonna insert a little bit of like Jingle Bells sounds. That's all you think, like a Jingle Bells Jeopardy.
Peel back the curtain.
Yeah.
I bet they have that.
I
Exact
know.
sound
I'm gonna
too.
try and find it.
The answer, Jake. Do you want to try and guess or?
I enter every country.
That's not even what I said.
I know. I'm trying to.
Oh, if I was
I was,
Santa, then
I was
would
thinking
be-
too much about the jingle.
The answer, Jake, is reindeer.
I was gonna say wind.
No specific reindeer, but just reindeer in general was the answer I was looking for.
Oh, finding the way. I enter. Did you say enter?
Were you even
every
listening
country?
to the riddle, or were you just
I thought you said-
solely had Jingle Bells on the mind? The question was, when going around the world,
Yeah.
I can find the way.
Yeah.
I go to every country
Oh, I go to every country.
right by Santa's side or
I thought,
something
it was,
like
I
that.
thought it was entering each the country.
Well, he is.
Like a passport.
Well,
Yeah,
Santa-
Santa's need a
got-
passport.
imagine how many stamps that guy's got in his passport.
He's got a Bible of just stamps in the passport. All right, let's review our festive saison and go drink some eggnog.
Evil genius Santa, I know him. Festive Saison. Saison.
Yeah, so I'll the beer's not bad by any means. It's just it's kind of in between for me. It's not like flavorful enough where it's like that was a really full flavorful beer, and it's not light enough for it to be like a light and an easy to drink beer. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a stuck in the middle. I
Bad
think.
place to be.
It's Santa got stuck in the chimney is kind of what I'm getting at here.
That should have been your halftime word.
Yeah, all hyphenated. So I'm gonna give it a 6, 7.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not my favorite. I feel like you said before, it should be a darker beer.
Yeah,
But I feel like not every holiday beer needs to be dark either. It's just like,
they did what they said they were gonna do. A festive saison, which is a pale ale, and it's festive. So
yeah, so by that definition, they nailed it. It should be a 10 out of 10.
yeah, but for a review,
But I just wasn't. Maybe it's because I don't know what a saison really is, so I didn't have really any expectations. I just went in,
saison.
took a sip, tasted like Bud Light at first with
Yep.
a trail of holiday spices in it.
Yep,
It did grow on me, and it got a little bit better.
I agree.
Like I enjoyed it more as it went on. I guess as most beers do, but yeah, 6-1.
Yeah. That's fine,
I just don't
yeah.
think I'd drink it again.
Didn't fail, but it needs help.
Yeah, I'd take the one that we had last week over this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. Even though that one lacked in flavor as well.
Yeah.
If
If last week's had this week's flavor, it'd be the perfect
yeah,
holiday
you're
beer.
right. That's
Like those
true. I feel like
spices.
they got mixed up in the packing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, I have a couple eggnogs and whiskeys, and you hand me one of these, I'm not going to turn it down, but I'm
No,
not
no,
going
no.
to. I'm not going to go out of my way.
Nope.
By any means. So thank you, Evil Genius.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Oh.
Hanukkah's over, though. Way over, right?
Way over? It's over.
Yeah. The candles have all been lit.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, still, happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, as they say.
Festivus.
We'll see you on the other side of this holiday season.
Oh.
Hopefully before the new year.
Hopefully.
Nice. All right. Goodbye.
Good
and
riddance.
Silent night.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to the Any and Everything Show.